NASA just announced a discovery that could be the closest we've come to finding life on Mars. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what did they actually find? And what does it mean for the human race? This is the current event of finding life on Mars. My name is Olan Hulion, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going over what NASA has found that could be leading us to finding life on Mars. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my vlog channel at Olan Hulion Vlogs. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. I found all of this from public resources. Please do your own research. And I guess viewer discretion is advised on this one. If I left anything out, please let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. In September of 2025, NASA announced that Perseverance rover, which has been exploring an ancient river delta in Jezero Crater, discovered something pretty interesting in a rock sample. Nicknamed Cheyava Falls? The rock came from a formation known as the Bright Angel, which has been for a long time thought to be one of the most promising spots for preserving ancient biosignatures. Which they analyzed the rock with the rover's instruments. Scientists found two key things. One, the complex organic molecules, specifically long chain alkylenes like decane, undecane, and dodecane. These are carbon-based molecules that can be produced by living things, but also by non-biological chemical reactions under the right conditions. And then two, strange mineral textures. Patterns that resemble leopard spots, which on Earth often form in the association of microbial activity or water-based chemical reactions. These findings don't scream live, but they definitely whisper it, if you know what I mean. Sometimes I can be really nerdy and I like to figure out what the hell is going on with things, and I was like, da-da-da-da-da, and like Googling all of these things, and I felt like I was back in like chemistry class whenever I was like reading all this stuff. Y'all, in high school, me and chemistry did not get along, but it's probably because I also took a nap in that class every day. But whenever I was researching this, it literally was like doing something to my brain, and I was like, I should have been a scientist in a different lifetime. But what are biosignatures? To be clear, NASA isn't saying we found life. What they found are what scientists call potential biosignatures, features in rock or soil that could have formed in a biological activity. Here's the catch. Potential biosignatures can also form purely by non-living elements, especially on a planet like Mars, where chemical weathering, radiation, and ancient volcanic activity all play a role in this. Kind of like how volcanic activity play a role here on Earth. Like a lot of our land that we do have came from a damn volcano. So right now what NASA is basically saying is, this is interesting, it looks a little bit like what life would leave behind, but we need more data. It's still one of the strongest pieces of evidence we've ever had pointing towards life being on Mars, but it's still is it there? Like, is it? Did we find something real? It's still the what if that's involved here. But you might remember in like past headlines about organic molecules being found on Mars. For example, the Curiosity rover, which is still active in the Jezero Crater, found shorter chains of organics back in 2018. But what makes the 2025 discovery a bigger deal, and why are people going crazy over this? It's three things. One is the molecular complexity. The organic and the Perseverance just found are longer and more complex, which makes it less likely that they were formed by a random chemical process. Two, context. 3 molecules were found in a rock that dates back to around 3.7 billion years ago, from a time when Mars had water. thicker atmosphere, and possibly habitable conditions. If you want a video on the conspiracy of Mars and the theory that Adam and Eve came from Mars, let me know down below. But 3, preservation. The mineral textures in the geological setting of the Jezero Crater. That rock was well preserved, meaning that the biosignatures, if they do exist, weren't destroyed over time. In short, this rock has everything scientists were hoping to find. It doesn't prove that life existed on Mars, but it pushes the door wider and for us to do more investigating. But then there's the skeptic side. Of course, not everyone's ready to pop the champagne. Scientists are trying to be cautious, especially when the stakes are high. There are a few reasons why this might not be life. Okay, so one of the reasons is abiotic chemistry. The organic molecules have formed through chemical reactions involving volcanic gases, radiation, and water, but no biology is needed. 2, Mars's conditions. The surface of Mars is constantly bombarded with radiation and oxidants, which can both form and break down organic complexities. Not complexity, compounds. Oh my god. Yo, I'm trying to make sure I'm reading my scripts right, reading all my notes and stuff right, because this is so it's so, what's it called? Complex. All of this is very complex and I don't want to mess up. 3, instrument limitations. The rover's tools are advanced, but they're not as precise as Earth-based lab equipment is, which leads to the biggest issue. We can't confirm anything 100% till we bring these rocks back to Earth. So what happens next? What is the next move? NASA and the ESA, which is European Space Agency, are working on Mars sample return mission, which would literally bring these exact rock samples, including the Cheyava Falls, back to Earth labs for a detailed study. The mission is currently in development, but it could launch in as early as 2030s. And y'all was like, as early as 2030s? That's 5 years away. What do you mean? But until then, the preservants will keep collecting samples and data. The more samples we have, the easier it is to spot a pattern and rule out any coincidences. But whether or not this turns out to be evidence of ancient life, one thing is clear: we're getting closer to moving to Mars. Mars has always fascinated us as a civilization, and now more than ever is starting to talk back to us in a way. Especially Mr. Elon Musk over here doing everything that he's doing. Even if these signs turn out to be chemical flukes, they're still helping to understand the red planet's past and what makes a planet truly habitable. And if one day we do confirm that life once existed on Mars, even microbes, it changes everything we thought we knew about a place in this universe. What do you think? Do you think this is the real deal? Or are we reading too much into the Martian rocks? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me some of your theories. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video, and I will see you soon. Bye!